Hi, y'all. I'm very excited this evening to introduce you to Muskan Prasai. She is a social worker, or excuse me, a student of social work in Kathmandu, Nepal. And we met through our mutual friend who is Anesh, her cousin. And I met Anesh when we both attended Warren Wilson College in Asheville, North Carolina. So we are representing a few different places today. Thank you for being here, Muskan, and talking to me. That's lovely.
And thank you, Alex. It's wonderful being here.
Yeah. Before we jump into like the current pandemic and how your life has changed, just tell me a little bit more. Tell me what your life is like in Kathmandu, and then tell me also why you decided to study social work.
Yeah, hi again, everyone. I am an undergrad student and I'm studying social work. Uh, I'm studying social work because I believe in helping people to help themselves. In today's world, we have like like everything. We have industrial engineer, we have environment scientists, we have definitely not forgetting virologist,
Oh, yeah.
but we need more social scientists. So social work is a subject which creates a social scientist. We need to know more about people. We need to know more about person in environment and environment in person in both aspect. We need to be more close. We need to understand the human relation more deeper, so as to bring the change in the world. So I aspire to be a social worker to help people to help themselves.
Okay. Is there a specific field of social work you're interested in to go in after this, or you're still learning and deciding?
Yeah. So in my master's, I'm planning to do a master's in psychology. I I will be working in the psychology field as serving as a psychologist. So
Mm,
yeah.
okay, very interesting, cool. And you're in, so um, I will briefly just talk. I just did a quick Wikipedia search about Nepal because my knowledge about Nepal is abysmal, but it is um, in Asia, obviously. It's landlocked and borders China in the north and India in the south and west, while Bangladesh is located within 27 kilometers of its southeastern tip in Bhutan. It's an interesting part of the world. 28 million people, I was reading. You have always lived in Kathmandu, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is tell me a little bit about and also I am reading that compared to a lot of other countries, Nepal is like ranked 67th in the world, and you've had fewer fewer than 100 deaths. So in Australia,
Yeah.
where I am, we've had now we're I think getting close to 300 deaths. So and we have about the same population of people. So you guys are doing quite well. But tell me a little bit before you talk to me about how the virus affected everything. What was your life like as a student in Kathmandu? Is it very busy? What is it? Is it a big city? Tell me about what it's like.
Uh, yes. Before pandemic, it was quite busy before and
Mm-hmm.
after as well. However, Kathmandu is a very small city yet very beautiful. It's a capital of Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of things going on. The life here is very busy. So before pandemic, like I said, normal. We were as in summing up, we were in Nepal planning for tourism campaign, and we were engaged like very in a busy way before pandemic. But then the pandemic occurred, and we are starting a new normal life here.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, I always hear about the brand Kathmandu, which is like an outdoorsy brand. So that's where it's based off of, I guess, or that's where, yeah. So it's not, it's the capital city, but it's not the biggest city.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, really? Okay. No, I'll look and I'll check. But, but, so it had a lot of tourism.
Yeah.
Obviously, tourism is not happening anywhere in the world right now. So, can you remember when you started realizing that things were going to be different, I guess. Like, were you thinking, like, do you remember when you were like, okay, I'm not going to be able, like, I don't have classes shut down? Can you, yeah, tell me a little bit about how things have kind of changed
Yeah.
since it hit? Yeah.
Yeah, the first case here in Nepal was in around January, I guess around January 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very different. The lockdown period started from March and it ended in just 21st of July. The universities were closed, the classes were closed, we were not going to work anymore, we were not traveling, we were just being inside the home. I explain this as it was very unusual, it was very terrible, but
Yeah.
again a beautiful part as well. So yeah, we the movement was slowed down. The flights were suspended, universities, colleges were closed, business were shut down. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Had that ever happened to you before? Do you ever remember anything like that happening? Because like anything that
No,
like no.
I don't remember. Everything is being locked down, everything is
Yeah.
being suspended. Uh, yeah, but this was a whole different experience. Obviously, not just to me, but then the whole world. But definitely never experienced before.
Right. Right. So did you study, like, did you just take classes from home?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
everything is
right.
virtual. Yeah,
Right.
working
Right.
is virtual, studying is virtual. It's very for at the first time it's very difficult for like doing adjustment, and we were very new to technology. However, we are improving in that aspect. We are learning new things. We are into new technology. Zoom is very common platform. We enjoy Zoom now. We do parties in Zoom now.
Really?
It's very yeah, unusual, but it's okay. But we are adapting to it, and definitely a new lesson, I say, and a
Yeah.
new life that we are getting before, like than before.
Right. And did you like, and I guess a lot of people have to like go move back home with their parents who are studying and stuff like that as well. So
Yeah,
so
yeah. For
yeah.
them, it was very difficult,
Mm-hmm.
as being here in a rental place, and
Yeah.
not being able to like move. Some are
Yeah.
stuck here in Kathmandu. Some went there. Economic crisis is still happening. There is economic crisis, and life is uncertain. Yeah. Some people travel out of Kathmandu Valley. Some people get in the valley. Yeah.
In the valley, right. So is that outside of, what does that mean? What is the Kathmandu Valley?
Yeah, so as here are many universities,
Mm-hmm.
the Kathmandu provides a lot of opportunities here. Many people come here to study, for job, and for to settle down. So after this pandemic arrived, everyone went back to their place where they belong, to their own village, their own place, so that they can be with with their family during this pandemic.
Right, right, right. Was it were there, so everything closed. So a lot of restrictions came into place. The government enforced it.
Yeah.
Were there people wearing masks when you go out and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, yeah, people do wear masks, but social distancing has also been there. But
Mhm.
again, uh, though the government has brought a policy where you'll be fined if you will not wear masks when moving out.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people here are practicing wearing a mask, but I say not a social distancing. So if people do
Oh,
wear masks,
but you see more people. Is it because it's maybe a crowded city? So you see
yeah,
people, right? So people do wear masks, but people are still close to one another.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, does that make you nervous?
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Being in a home for like 3 months, not moving out from home, and
Yeah.
when you see people make you afraid. When you see the crowd, you are very conscious, and okay. So yeah, it's very different than before.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, is anything, so like I said, it's really impressive though that the numbers have been so low. Do you think that that's pretty accurate, or do you think maybe that there's some numbers that aren't being counted? Like, do you think that I wonder about that, like, because that's such an incredibly low number. And then you read about other countries, like India, I think is third in the world. And obviously it's got a bigger population than Nepal. But yeah, sorry, that's a bit of a surprise question.
Yeah, definitely. No, the number here, the death count is 91, which is comparatively low than the rest part of the world.
Yeah.
But the active cases are around 7,600.
Right.
Around.
Right.
So
Right.
we are improving in that case. We had a protest of having effective PCR tests for for the budget transparency,
Okay.
budget transparency. So yeah, we had a hunger strike youth movement, and then finally we are improving, but the cases now is increasing again. So
right.
yeah, we fear it. We fear about having death count more than 91.
Right. Right. Did you say there was a hunger strike?
Yeah, there was.
What is that
So
about? Yeah.
yeah, so we had a campaign, youth campaign, which is named after Enough is Enough Satyagraha, which is a hunger strike for demanding our government of Nepal, for having a good PCR test and the transparency in budget of the budget which is for the pandemic. So there were 12 points agreement between a youth of Nepal and government. So the hunger strike, however, has already been settled down, and we are progressing in that aspect. But before, we had hunger strike twice. The first at first the agreement was not brought into action, and again there was the second hunger strike. And hopefully, I hope like this time we will have a good test and
So
and better transparent.
Okay, so it's about making sure the tests are accurate. That when people get tested for the coronavirus, it's making sure that the test, or that they can access them.
Making sure so that the people can access them, and also the test should be done, should be increased. The number of tests should be increased.
Should be, sorry, could you say that last word again? The number of tests should be what?
The number of the number of the PCR tests should be increased. We need to do more tests.
Oh, I see. So we need lots of tests to make sure the numbers are right.
True.
Is that what it? So they feel like there is not enough testing being done.
Yeah, we felt it. Yeah.
Okay, and they're starving themselves, or they were starving themselves.
Yeah.
How does that's so interesting. I'll have to include a link to that in the story, but so that is a different type of protest than like some of the protests you see with people on the street. Is that like
we do even have the protests which were in the street, but then again that didn't work out, and it was a peaceful protest. But then again, the hunger strike where two individuals strike themselves in order to have this agreement. So yeah, that was the second part. We had the movement as well, the hunger strike, and finally we are in the agreement with the government.
That's so interesting. So the biggest when it comes to because there's been political unrest, I think, in every single country to a degree. I think when this has happened, this has just really caused a lot of uncertainty. But so it sounds like in Nepal, people are unhappy with how the government is handling the coronavirus. Yeah, so it's about making sure the biggest issue at the moment is making sure that everyone has access to tests and that the numbers are being counted. Is that right?
Yeah, and also also not limiting to that, but increasing the ICU with the isolation wards, and having people who come to Nepal, they need to have at least be in the isolation first, and then have test, then only they can go to their home. So that the hunger strikes have different aspect to see. but mainly focusing on the more number of tests and yeah, definitely the budget. Yeah.
That is so interesting. So what? So it's just, are they high profile people that do the hunger strikes? Is that how they
No,
have
they
it?
are the youth.
Okay, right. So just, and are they just at home, like, and their parents are like watching them not eat? Is that kind of,
No,
or yeah?
actually, we did in the public places.
Okay.
The hunger strike, yeah, the hunger strike was in the Basantapur. I can give you a link after
Yeah,
the
yeah,
recording. But it's very interesting and it's very
yeah.
inspiring as well. You know, fighting for everyone's right, fighting for everyone, everyone for like
And
striving themselves. Yeah.
yeah, I guess this is terrible, but because I'm from the United States originally, and Americans love food stereotypically. It's a stereotype. I wonder if that would be an effective thing that we could try in the United States at some stage, because you hear a lot about or any like it's just something that I've heard about, but I haven't heard of people actively doing that. So I'm very interested. And it sounds like it was effective. So the government is working with people to make sure that um, that they're getting what they want in terms of testing and um, and forgive me because I'll look this up and I'll write when I write the blurb I'll give a little bit more better information about this. But what is it a democracy in Nepal?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you have elections every few years and similar to a lot of places. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. What is the healthcare system like in Nepal? Is it available to everyone? Does everyone have healthcare?
Not everyone, but you know, again, Sam, the one in the urban cities are being more, the health facilities are more accessible in compared to the people who are from rural areas. So
Mm,
it's a bit hard. We are struggling in that case, but still, we government of Nepal is improving in some way now and then.
hmm.
So yeah, it is not accessible to everyone. Not everyone is getting equal facilities and
Right.
assessment. So yeah.
So not everyone has equal facilities. So in the cities it's a bit more it's better than in the
Yeah.
more rural areas. And then but everyone has something, is that right? Like, so if somebody anywhere in the most rural area, if someone in a very rural area in Nepal gets sick, will they be able to have something, some kind of care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have health post. Yeah, yeah. We have
Okay.
certain health facilities, but not very well equipped. So
Okay, I see. I see. And is that all? And it's okay if you don't know this. I know you're very young, so and as you mentioned before, that you're a student, and this is your observation. So I'm not asking you to make like big political commentary. I'm just asking for your personal experience. But um, is um, is everyone paying for the same healthcare? Do some people pay for more expensive healthcare, or is it all the same? Do you know if does healthcare like in the United States, for example, if you have private healthcare, it's very nice. But some people, so you pay, or your company, if you work for someone, your company pays for you to have really good healthcare. But otherwise, you might be on Medicaid, which is not as great. So, is there different tiers? I guess, like, is there private and public, or?
yeah, there is private and public,
Mm-hmm.
but the facilities, like you know, as here in Nepal, we need to pay for our health. We need to pay ourselves. But
Yeah.
there might be some companies and some places where the employees' healthcare system is being like cared. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
there is hierarchy here in Nepal as well. The public and the private sector. Private is more expensive and uh, a bit okay in comparative to you know, government hospitals.
Okay. Right. So government is the public, I guess. The
Yeah.
government is the public healthcare, what we
Yeah,
would
we
call
have
the public
government.
healthcare.
Yeah, we have government hospitals and the private ones.
Okay. Right. Right. Interesting. So I'm just going to kind of say back what I've like just some of the points that you've taken as I kind of wrap my head around what's happening in Nepal. So there have been student protests, and people are trying to make sure they have accurate information and testing around the coronavirus. And places have closed down. People are not social distancing as much, but they are wearing masks. And you get fined, did you say, if you don't wear masks?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Has that, I know this is a bit of a generalization, but I have heard about I guess it's probably more like China, masks are very common. Were masks common in Nepal before? Like, was it common to see people wearing masks?
Not in general,
Yeah.
uh, because like we again have air pollution here, so some
Mm-hmm.
people wear, some don't, but it was not popular. It was not something
Right.
that we usually prefer to wear, but
Okay.
now it's mandatory.
Right. Do you think anybody's like, I know even in Australia, there's some people that are really annoyed that they have to wear a mask. Do you think there's some people that are quite like angry about
No,
it?
not that I know,
Yeah.
because it's for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, not everyone is annoyed. There might be someone, but
Yeah.
not that I know.
It's not
Yeah.
so interesting because it's kind of like, I think in the United States, it's almost like a culture war. Like, if you wear masks, you support one party, and if you don't, you support the other. So it's not a political thing at all in Nepal.
No,
It's
no,
just kind of, yeah, it's
yeah,
just
it's
like
not a
a,
political thing at all. But
yeah.
the social distance, however, is being difficult to practice for some of the people. But there are certain things that the government is implementing to maintain the social distance.
Okay.
In like, yeah, the gathering of the people for more than 10, 15 to 25, the gathering of the people is limited in number. You cannot be
Yes.
you are not supposed to throw a huge party and a ceremony.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we are not allowed to celebrate festival in a crowd way, though there are some violation, like rules violation, but yeah, in some kind, but not as social distancing is not being practiced as much
Mm-hmm.
as we practice wearing mask.
Interesting, interesting. Now, in the United States and in Australia, obviously, when things close, businesses lose money. We're seeing a lot of recessions happen. Did the Nepali government give money to anyone at all?
Yes, not the economic assistance like is not that in number, but I guess Nepal government is giving free PCR test for the one who comes in Nepal, like from
Mm-hmm.
other country, from India or any other country. And also not implemented yet. I have
Mm-hmm.
not known like if they have given money,
Uh-huh.
but they have said they will be provided if someone will be death, if there is a death in the family, they will be provided for 10,000, I guess, one not 1 lakh, I guess, so
Mm-hmm.
tentative, yeah, small amount for them.
Okay, so if there's a death in the family, they will give the people whose family member has died from coronavirus, they will pay them.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And they're giving free tests, so anyone from another country that comes into Nepal, they get a free coronavirus test.
uh no,
No?
the Nepali citizen who comes to
Okay.
Nepal
Yeah.
in the pandemic, they are getting free tested. However,
Oh.
if we need to pay a certain amount to get tested.
Ah, right. Right. I'm sorry. You might have mentioned that earlier, and I think that went over my head.
Yeah.
So everyone, sorry that I missed that earlier. So everyone, all Nepali citizens have to, if unless they're in the government, they have to pay for their tests. Is
No,
that
no, no.
right? No,
Uh,
no. Okay, sorry.
yeah. If someone is in isolation, or if someone is being quarantined, they are getting free test.
Okay.
But if I feel the symptoms and I want to get tested, I need to pay for the test. The test is not free.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. And I guess and so that is why people are kind of concerned because
Yeah.
if you have to pay for your test and you feel symptoms, some people can't afford to pay or they
True.
don't want to
True.
pay. So it is
Yeah.
right. And is that part of the reason that these hunger strikes and protests are happening, is because people think it's
Not
not
one
fair?
of the reasons,
Yeah,
but it includes as well.
yeah, yeah,
We have lost our jobs. There is
yeah.
unemployment, and the situation is very chaotic. And there is economic crisis, and paying around $50, I guess, for a test for an individual, it's very expensive. And so,
$50, like 50 US
yeah,
dollars or something around
$50.
that, or what would it be in?
Can I be sure? I'll just check it. But yeah,
Okay,
I guess around that.
yeah, wow, that's
It is
interesting.
5,000 Nepali. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's cool. That's, you can just, if you just tell me that, that's like enough to go off of.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're in quarantine already, you can have a test, and if you're or if you're around someone else who's had it, but if you just feel sick, you still have to pay to get a test, and you haven't been in contact. Have you met
Yeah.
anyone that has had it?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's good. um, this has been really interesting. Thank you so much, Muskan. If you, it sounds like, so I guess you've been home a lot. You're having Zoom parties. You're doing classes online. You're smiling, which is great. Have you, despite all this, and I know like you're very young, so it's like the time of your life when you should be really learning and enjoying yourself and exploring, and instead you're at home. But have there been any positives or silver linings for you at all during all this?
Yeah, definitely. I see
Yeah.
a lot of silver lining, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm being able to spend time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
We really complain about not being home and want to sleep and not being able to, learn in home. In that aspect, it's going really well. I feel like, you are more conscious about yourself. You are
Yeah.
more aware about your mental health as well. You need
Okay.
to be, engaging yourself in different kind of activities, and you're learning new technologies which was very unknown before, connecting to people uh, outside the country, as like I am doing so far, having conversation. Yeah, if this would not be possible, like, if we were having not having coronavirus, I guess. I'm talking to
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
many
love
people
that.
across, yeah, true, many people across the world are hearing us. We are raising our voice, we are putting our voice into table, and yes, I'm really enjoying the time. But at point it becomes frustrating of not moving out of the house, not being able to go, not being able to, it becomes really difficult to work virtually 24/7. However, there
Yeah.
are many silver lines that we need to look up to, and and make our mental health good in this point of time.
Yeah, yeah. I've talked quite a bit about mental health with people because I think the longer it lasts, and it is lasting, like in Australia, we thought everything was going back to normal up until about a month ago, and then we became more nervous, and then more cases. Now we have another outbreak and like double the amount of deaths. And the longer it goes, the harder it is. Because if you just
Yeah,
had to
same
go
now.
home for a month is one thing. 6 months is very different, I think.
True. You
So
Yeah, also the cases, after the lockdown, the cases has been increasing.
yeah.
The death count is being increased, and we are very, though everything is open, we fear of going outside. We fear meeting peoples, and it's really difficult. Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
really be stable. Yeah.
I understand that about the fear as well. I've tried to do a few social things since it's happened, and it's very hard to kind of just feel okay about things. I feel like everyone is almost on edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
yeah. It's very hard, but I'm glad that you're able to spend more time with your family, and I'm glad that you are keeping a positive attitude. And I am so glad that I've got to learn a little bit about your life and what's happening in Kathmandu, Nepal. Is there anything else you'd like to add or include before I let you go, Muskin?
No, I guess uh, the best part about this pandemic is, we are being able to foster cooperation and collaboration. That is what I really love about. Nothing more. We can keep in touch. We can
Yes.
stay connected. Yeah, that's all.
Yes. Yes. That's
I will,
wonderful.
I will send you the link of
Yeah,
our Enough is Enough campaign, which is the hunger strike and the
yeah,
agreement with government. I will send you the link, and we
yeah.
can share. Yeah.
Please do, please do. I'm so interested in that. And thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me today, Muskin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
See
Alex, for having
you.
me. Yeah. See you. Bye.